I'm here now. I'm going to tell you what fairy dust. About a story called fairy dust. I just read it. It is not a true story, just a fake. But it was so majestic. So let me tell you the story about fairy dust. So really, fairy dust is a story. There was a girl. There was a girl named Rosie. Her mom used to think fairies are not real, but she did not give up hope that fairies aren't real. So one day she moved to a new house with her mother. Okay, so she moved to a new house with her mother. Only not her father. Her father was in London. So only her mother. She lived. Then they moved house with her mother, and then she saw something moving in a big oak tree. It was something that did not know, like it looked like a bird, but it was more particularly small than a bird. So then one day, it happened. The moment of truth came out. She used to those so much and everywhere, and so much trouble finding it, and so much consequences. Some people say, "Are you crazy? Fairies are real." You want answers, but one day she went to her new neighbor, Miss Macpea. Miss Macpea was her new neighbor. She was an old lady that was 79 years old. Then she asked her, "Do you know about fairies?" Miss Macpea said, "Fairies, as for fairies." Oh, what did he do? As for fairies secret, the fairies do not tell that we are living. They don't even, when they meet a human, they don't tell them. You can tell everyone. They say keep it a secret. So who knows? And if someone asked who knows about fairies, they know. So one day, Rosie went there and she did something that no one. She asked Miss Macpea. Then Miss Macpea said, "Oh, we don't know." And Miss Macpea had a fuzzy gray cat called Angus. Angus was a kind of roughly and good cat. Angus was a roughly and good cat. She was kind of playful and sometimes would get angry, but she was nice. Then one day, Rosie was out. She could not sleep because she heard so much voices. She went out when her mother was sleeping. At almost dawn was about to happen. Then she spotted Angus, the cat on Miss Macpea. He had something in its mouth. It looked like a fairy. But then she said fairies aren't real. My mom said everyone says that. But then she saw the fairy's head and wings and her hair. Then she said it must be. Then she calmly went to Angus and said, like very very nicely, she said, "Can I see that cat, please?" When Angus opened his mouth and gave it, then she took the cat and then scrammed. Angus was like, "Go away, Angus!" Then, when it happened, it hit her hard. Then after that, the fairy name was Snowdrop. Then she was friends with her. Then some days later, she was ill, and when she was ill, It's called the ending sickness. Rosie was so helpless. Then, then the queen said, "I want to see what is this girl." Then the queen said, "Every fairy is made when a young child dies. Its joy comes to the fairy, then the fairy is made by it. And if someone forgets that young girl who died in the past, the fairy also fades away." So what really happened then? Rosie went at night to the cemetery. Then she saw a name, but then she remembered something else. The queen fairy said, "Doves take the joy, but doves can't tell." Then she asked the bird, "Please, she's about to die. She's about to fade." Then the dove raised on a gravestone and said, and then it did not say anything. Then she wiped it off and she said, "Sarah McClever." But she still needed some more evidence. Then she went to Miss McPhee, said, "Do you know about fairies?" Then she said, "Yes, I know about fairies now. I did not want to tell you because you did not know now. But now you know about fairies. Now is the time to... It's more good to tell you." Then she told her about Annie McClever who died. Then Rosie said, "Annie McClever must be Sarah McClever." Then she made a party of all the old people. Then they talked about that. Then she said, "Do you know that?" Then they said, "Yes, Annie McClever." She had a sister named Sarah McClever. She was very good. And then all of a sudden, joy spread around. Sarah Annie McClever was known around. Then soon at night, when she went to bed, at dawn, a fairy came and said, "Thank you so much. Now Snowdrop will live. And when she will live, she'll be A-okay." So now, Sarah, now everyone knows she came from Sarah McClever. And then everyone said, "Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you." And then all of a sudden, Snowdrop was also good, all better. The ending sickness actually meant by the death. She'll fade away. The ending sickness means then she was getting stronger and stronger by the minute. When she was all cured, then she went to Rosie and said, "Thank you so much, Rosie. Ask one wish." Then she said, "If I wish that I could meet my father every month and go to London." Then her wish came true, and then her mother and her father lived happily ever after. The end. I hope if you like the story, please like and subscribe if you love the story. If you like the story, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.